So hello everyone, welcome to episode 36 of our Aston Martin save. Now if you didn't watch the last episode of the Circuit Paul Ricard, go back and watch that. Pierre Gasly's home race, and he got a very respectable P4 after Carlos Sainz had an incident with both Mercedes cars on the first lap. That prompted us to get P4, maybe a loftier position than what we thought we were going to get. Fernando Alonso came in P7 and it was a photo finish between him and the 7-time world champion of Lewis Hamilton, who was on a different strategy after that early incident. Now, moving on to this weekend, we are at the Hungaroring here in Hungary, shockingly enough. 70 laps on this circuit. Lewis Hamilton holds the lap record of a 1 minute 16.6 back in 2020 now. Car attributes is a very tight and twisty circuit. Acceleration and low speed cornering, very important. And the expected strategy is a one-stop from medium onto hard, but a two-stop is also accessible as well. It should be a good race this. We're looking forward to it. It's been a quick turnaround. There's not been too many developments. We've just completed some more research going into next year, and we're also got an upgrade coming for the next race at the Belgian Grand Prix. So I'm going to get into practice now, and we'll see if we're qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
The Hungaroring is abuzz with excitement as Formula One returns to Hungary for another round. We first came here in 1986 after construction on this purpose-built motorsport facility was completed. The Hungaroring is one challenging succession of corners and turns. With few straights, it's affectionately known as the go-kart circuit. Drivers will have to find a proper rhythm to make the most of the layout, and for cars, low-speed downforce will be paramount. We're about halfway through the season now, and there's still plenty of time for everything to change. All eyes are on the teams and how they tackle the rest of the year. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Final corner in Q2. Fernando Alonso needs a decent lap. He was yellow through the first sector, he's green through the second. And doesn't improve. That leaves Fernando Alonso very much at risk. Pierre Gasly's now across the line. He's done okay. He's in P6 again. Pierre Gasly outperforming Fernando Alonso in qualifying. Consistently we're seeing this season. But Fernando Alonso does make it through into Q3. A couple of guys at the front have got grid penalties, we believe, as well. So very important to get a good qualifying in here. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, as you can see, both look like they may be taking penalties, so we'll have a look what we can do in Q3. Qualifying ever so important. And this is it then, final couple of corners in Q3. Fernando Alonso currently sitting P9 on a scrub set of soft compound tyre. Yellow through the first sector, green through the second. Fernando Alonso crosses the line. Doesn't improve on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly also not improving. Yellow through both sectors. It's quite strange this, to be fair, because like I said, fresh tyres you would expect at the end of qualifying is to be going quicker, but it doesn't seem to be happening here, and Pierre Gasly is going to cross the line unless he's had a blinding third sector. Stays at P7, so P7 and P9 for both our guys. Not a bad qualifying at all. Like I said, there's a couple of engine components as well which we might have a look at, but we're not going to take any penalties this race. Like I said, we've got a couple of guys in front that we're expecting to take grid penalties. So if we have a look at that, we're about a 10th off Max Verstappen with Pierre Gasly. But it's definitely sort of P5, P4. This is all in range, you would suggest. And we'll have to have a look at the strategy, see what we can do now. So let's get to 5 red lights on the strategy screen and see what we can devise here. Right then guys, so strategy-wise, we're going to go the basic one-stop, medium onto hard, both cars. I think there may be a safety car at some point during this race. So we're going to keep the hard tyres in the bank. We've also got the worn softs if we want to do it, but both guys got a set of fresh medium as well. So if a safety car does come out at the right time, we might switch back to medium. So 7th and 5th for Pierre Gasly. Let's get to 5 red lights and see if we can pick up more valuable points in our mission to get third in the Constructors.
This is it, the Hungarian Grand Prix. And it's lights out. And away we go! And
away we go, and straight away, Pierre Gasly is the man we're going to be having a look at. What tyre choice has everybody gone for? So a couple of guys starting on the soft compounded tyre, they're going to wear incredibly quickly. Pierre Gasly straight away looking to make moves on this opening lap. Just stick with these cars. Pierre Gasly doesn't need to be using his ERS or anything like that. One man who does is Fernando Alonso. Already lost the place to Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas has been a fantastic competitor so far this season. Very much so. It's been very impressive. I'm wondering if we have a look at Valtteri Bottas for next season, if Fernando Alonso keeps getting outdone by his teammate, basically. We'll keep an eye on that. But early doors, lap 1, Pierre Gasly's now lost the position to Guan Yu Zhou in the AlphaTauri, who seems to have made some developments later on in this season, so I would expect us to be able to get past them pretty quickly. Pierre, like I said, these soft compound tyres, they are going to be dead pretty quickly, so we'll hang on to the back of these. Lap 1, Carlos Sainz leads from Lewis Hamilton, then comes George Russell, Perez, Zhou, Gasly, Bottas, Alonso, Esteban Ocon makes P9, Lando Norris in 10th position. Lap 1. Lap 2, Sebastian Vettel in the wall, and it looks like we've had a crash just coming onto lap 2 actually. He's done exactly what Fernando Alonso did in practice, smashed his front wing. That's going to be big. That's going to be a big blow for Sebastian Vettel and his hopes this afternoon. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly staying nicely in touch with Guan Yu Zhou on the faster compound tyre at this moment in time. We've had to use some ERS for Fernando Alonso just to keep him in distance of Valtteri Bottas, but both our guys now chugging along nicely, and Sergio Perez keeping us in touch with the two Mercedes in front, which is very, very nice of him. Pierre Gasly's having to do a little bit of work to stay with Guan Yu Zhou here, but over the next few laps, the soft compounded tyre of Hamilton, Perez and Zhou are going to start to wear quickly, and of course they've got an extra pit stop to do as well, so it'll be interesting to see which of the strategies is the optimal. Mercedes seems to like to go for a different strategy now and again, especially on Lewis Hamilton's side of the garage, so we'll have to keep monitoring that and seeing what they're doing. We're pretty much going with the basic ones at the minute, unless we deem something else to be a little bit quicker, but at the moment, nicely positioned, 6th and 8th. We'll have a look at the bike. Obviously Sebastian Vettel, he was driving there a lot last season, Yuki Tsunoda and Charles Leclerc at the bike. Charles Leclerc obviously taking a lot of engine penalties and he's got to work his way through, but he's behind Mick Schumacher. That's going to be a very, very difficult afternoon for Charles Leclerc, who is the leader of the championship at this moment in time. Lap 4. Lap 7, just a little quick check-in. Pierre Gasly running along nicely behind Guan Yu Zhou, who's now losing pace to the leaders. We're going to be trying to get past him in the next couple of laps. We expect the soft compound runners to come in around lap 14 to lap 18. That's the sort of window we expect. So that's going to dispatch sort of Zhou and George Russell as well. Not George Russell, Hamilton and Perez. So that's going to get them out of the way. Fernando Alonso tagged onto the bike of Valtteri Bottas. We've had to use some ERS to keep us there, but now these soft compound tyres are wearing. This is the crossover period. The medium tyres now look a hell of a lot quicker than the softs, and we're going to be looking in a moment to get past with Pierre Gasly. Carlos Sainz is leading, and leading by a distance from Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc will be absolutely gutted. He's still down in P14, battling his way through, but Carlos Sainz has got race-winning pace by some distance this afternoon. Then comes Hamilton, Russell, Perez, Zhou, Gasly, Bottas, Alonso, Lando Norris in P9 doing pretty well, but lost the DRS to Alonso. But Max Verstappen, he's charging through the fight. That raging bull of Max Verstappen currently in P10, lap 8. We come back on the end of lap 8 because I've set both our guys DRS to overtake. I want it to be on this straight. So first up, Pierre Gasly. He's going to attack Guan Yu Zhou in the AlphaTauri. Is he going to be able to make the move? Let's have a look. Keep an eye on both Aston Martins here. Pierre Gasly down the start finish straight, using overtake. Can't get close enough, and neither can Fernando Alonso. But it has pulled us a little bit further clear of Max Verstappen, it must be said. Pierre Gasly's going to have another go into this next corner. Can't make it stick. It's very, very difficult to pass round here, as is being shown by both our drivers this afternoon. Still P6 and 8 respectively, going on to lap 9. And lap 10, Pierre Gasly, fantastic move, got close enough down the first DRS straight, then got Guan Yu Zhou into the second. Lovely move round the outside. And now hopefully it's our turn to sort of basically run off into the sunset and try and catch these guys up top. Meanwhile, we're still looking at Fernando Alonso. That was an important move in the aspects of Pierre Gasly's Grand Prix this afternoon. Much celebration in the Aston Martin garage. But in the other side of the garage, Fernando Alonso has just been overtaken by Max Verstappen. And this might be the time for that. Makes things a lot more difficult now. We really, though, need to follow Max Verstappen through on the next DRS straight if we can stay close enough to him. But straight away, look at Max Verstappen all over the back of Valtteri Bottas, those soft compound tyres, Max Verstappen has gone round him. Let's keep side by side here with Max Verstappen. Beautiful work from the Dutchman. And Fernando Alonso, 7/10 back, is going to get DRS. Pierre Gasly has checked out now. Pierre Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou is out of the picture now with Pierre Gasly. But it's all eyes on Fernando Alonso. We're going to use DRS. And I don't think we're going to be able to attack just yet. We're not. We'll save the tyres a little bit. Pierre Gasly gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He's now back into normal ERS usage. What a lap from Pierre Gasly, and has pulled well clear of Guan Yu Zhou, who's going to be the next car to be swallowed up by a flying Max Verstappen. Pierre Gasly ought to be running off into the sunset because Max Verstappen will be on the back of him very shortly. Lap 11. Lap 12. A little bit of tactics here with Pierre Gasly. We're going to harvest some ERS. We know how quick Max Verstappen is. We know how quick that Red Bull is. I don't think Max Verstappen's in our fight today, but what Max Verstappen is, as we've just said, extremely quick. We're going to harvest some ERS now, and when Max does get past us, because invariably he will, we're hopefully going to latch onto that DRS and let him drag us up to the Mercedes. That's the plan. He's on the same strategy as us. We'll pit when he pits, and that is the plan. If it works, tactical genius. If it doesn't, we're just going away a free position. But I don't think Max Verstappen is going to be too long behind Pierre Gasly. And in fact, it might even happen here. Max Verstappen going for the move. I'd actually be on the radio to Pierre Gasly saying, look, just let him through, buddy. We don't need to lose time squabbling with Max Verstappen. There's no need at all. We've charged the battery up. That's all good. Let him past, and in fact, I think that message has got through because Max Verstappen is now through past Pierre Gasly. We do give him a little bit of a squeeze. We can't make it easy for him. The ERS is back set to neutral now, and it's up to Pierre to stay with him and get dragged along by this fast Red Bull. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso just tagging onto the back of Bottas, as he has been doing all afternoon. Got two soft runners in front of him. Hasn't got the pace of Pierre Gasly, but hopefully can just use his DRS and time. Probably P7 is the max for Fernando this afternoon. Probably you would say P6 is the max for Pierre, but he's got to stay on Max Verstappen, otherwise the tactic's useless. Lap 13. And on lap 14, that strategy has gone to pot because Max Verstappen's already brought the DRS. I don't know what they're putting in that Red Bull, but it's not the same petrol we've got here at Aston Martin. Lap 14, that's quite disappointing. Lap 15, Fernando Alonso made a lovely move on Valtteri Bottas. He squeezed him all the way. But Fernando Alonso passed him beautifully and got DRS down the next straight, which has allowed him to catch up to the back of Guan Yu Zhou in front. He also puts a car between us. And is that a Ferrari I saw? Charles Leclerc has made his way through the pack as well, so it puts Bottas between us and him. Important now for Fernando to get in the DRS. I think he will. These tyres now are the better tyre. All on Fernando. I think Pierre Gasly, this is his race now. He's just got to keep the tyres nice, keep ticking along lovely, no mistakes. See what happens with the two-stop versus the one-stop. Fernando Alonso, a little bit more to do here, but looking pretty tasty in P8. All looking pretty decent. Lap 15. Lap 17, first of the soft tyre runners is in, and it is Sergio Perez. Guan Yu Zhou's also in. And now Fernando Alonso has got Charles Leclerc for company, and he's not going to be company for too much longer either, Charles Leclerc. But what are these guys coming out onto is the key thing here. Tyre wise, Perez, what's he on? Let's have a quick look as he comes down the touchline. I feel like Ted Kravitz here. He's onto the hard compounder tyre now. As is Bottas and Zhou, I'm presuming. Yep, all going on to the hard compounder tyre. So Gasly and Alonso staying out. Alonso still very much battling with Charles Leclerc, harvesting a little bit of ERS. And now the same plan as what we tried with Max Verstappen earlier. Let's see if Alonso can do a bit better job and stay with Charles Leclerc. We expected the Ferrari and Red Bull to overtake. Sector 2, there is a yellow flag. We're going to keep an eye on this situation as it progresses. Let's see who's ran wide. Are we going to get a replay? We are, and it is George Russell locking up. Turn 5, under pressure from that Red Bull, and he very much has run wide into that chicane. Rejoined, not hit someday like the Ferrari did the other day, but as you saw there, Pierre Gasly now back into play. Only 1.7 seconds behind. He's got a decent gap to Charles Leclerc. Fernando Alonso is doing everything he can to hold on to Charles Leclerc. These Ferraris and Red Bulls are just too quick for us today. Lewis Hamilton now making his stop on lap 18. Pierre Gasly now going to be promoted up to P4. Let's see where Lewis Hamilton comes out here. Lewis Hamilton currently running in P2. Let's see where he comes out. It's going to be quite interesting. He's onto the hard compound tyre. Decent stop there from the Mercedes guys. It's got a little bit overcast here in Hungary as well. Hamilton's going to rejoin. Is Fernando going to get past him? He is. Occon's coming down the start finish straight. Is he going to come out in front of Ocon? He isn't. He has got a bit of traffic to negotiate. In fact, he's got a lot of traffic to negotiate, Lewis Hamilton. So he's now down to P12 and straight away gets involved with Lance Stroll, who's still out there on this soft compound tyre. That might not have been the best stop from Mercedes. Lap 18. Lap 24, sorry. We've just been overtaken by Charles Leclerc. Might not be the worst thing in the world. We're going to try that Verstappen tactic a little bit more. We harvested through the middle sector, which allowed Leclerc to overtake us, but not sort of at the start of the lap. I'm hoping now that Pierre Gasly is going to be able to stay with Charles Leclerc. That's the plan for this next sort of 5-6 lap. That would be ideal, because then we can come in on lap 30 and then basically go onto the hards and stick with it from there. Fernando Alonso's in a totally different race. What we need Pierre to do now is just stay with Charles Leclerc, put him off a little bit, keep him off that racing line at times. Just stick with him, the Monegasque driver, and that could be a very different race for us, and especially if he starts pulling us up towards George Russell. This is the key though. We'll just fast forward a little bit through and just keep an eye on this left hand side at the time that we're losing. So we're already up to half a second as we come into the third sector. Then it's into 6 tenths. Pierre Gasly's making a better job of staying with him straight away at 8 tenths. We've nearly lost DRS. Are we going to get it as we go around this final corner? I don't think we've got it. Have we not got DRS? We haven't. So as simple as that, within the space of what, 2/3 of a lap, we lose DRS. The Red Bulls and Red Bulls and Ferraris just so quick today. We can do nothing about it. Lap 25. Fernando, this is Lewis. You have Hamilton behind. Please hold him up as much as you possibly can. Hold up, Lewis. Hold up, Lewis. That's the message from the pit wall. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton sneaking that position in the last race at Circuit Paul Ricard. Fernando Alonso's been told, hold him up. Hold Lewis Hamilton up, because this could be very important for Pierre's race. I know what you're saying. We've had these issues. We have had to play the team game at time, but Fernando Alonso is very good at holding people up, and I'm hoping he's going to manage to do it with Lewis Hamilton here. And once he's done that, at that point then we'll let Fernando come in. I don't want to lose too much time doing this, but a couple of laps would be ideal just to keep Lewis Hamilton behind, keep him honest. I think Fernando will do a great job here, and let's just keep a look. We'll have a look at the lap times as well when he finally gets past him. 22.9 for Fernando, 22.3 for Pierre. 22.3, look at the distance. Charles Leclerc's a second a lap quicker at this moment in time. George Russell showing the pace that this Mercedes could have. But hopefully Fernando, the wily old fox, can just hold up the man from Great Britain and just keep that gap to Pierre Gasly widening all the time. It's now nearly up to 3 seconds. We'll defend again on this next start finish straight. Fernando Alonso doing a cracking job here, lap 27. This is fantastic driving from Fernando Alonso. Look at the last lap time of Lewis Hamilton, a 1:23.6. He's just lost a second and a half to Pierre Gasly. Absolutely bonkers driving this. Fernando Alonso, we're loving this on the Aston Martin pit wall. He's making such a gap for his teammate. It's absolutely fantastic to see. And he's absolutely ruining these guys' races behind Perez. Hamilton can't get past the Spaniard. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly absolutely pushing, trying to make the most of this opportunity that he can get. Look at this. Slowing him right up at the chicane. Beautiful to see. I'm nearly, well, I was losing my voice before this started. I am now. Fernando Alonso in P6. Lost his battery now. That might be the key issue. But to be fair, I think he's done a very much a good enough job here holding these guys up. Lap 28, absolutely brilliant work. And lap 28, Alex Albon, he's had a couple of little missions and excursions so far. He's going onto this hard compound tyre, just running a little bit wide there. But look at this, Fernando Alonso. He's making that Aston Martin the size of 4 double-decker buses. It's untrue. It's now up to 12 seconds, the gap between him and Pierre Gasly. And unfortunately, Fernando has now been overtaken. We'll stop back the old back cars. And hopefully now Fernando will latch on for one more lap. Then we'll get Fernando in. But that, in terms of this race, could be absolutely paramount. There's a 12-second gap between Lewis Hamilton and Pierre Gasly now, and of course these guys are on the two-stop strategy, so they will have to box again. Max Verstappen, one of the first medium runners, is just coming in to the pits. We'll just have a quick look at this and see where Max comes out. We'll just speed it on a little bit. I'm intrigued to see where Max comes out here. So he's onto the hard compound tyre to go towards the end. Max Verstappen, where's he going to come out? Russell and Leclerc's past him. Is Pierre Gasly? That's the key. Pierre Gasly's past him. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. It looks like we've got an incident on track. No, are we going to get a replay? We are. Charles Leclerc spinning in at Turn 1 just as we were watching Max Verstappen emerge from the pit lane. He spun. That is very, very poor. And as you can see, Pierre Gasly, we keep seeing that Aston Martin just trickling through. Despair in the Ferrari garage, battling for P1. Not anymore, my friend. Leclerc now down to P5, overtaken by Max Verstappen. Lap 30, optimal pit lap, box for both cars. Pierre Gasly's just been caught by Max Verstappen. He's going to come in now, and let's keep an eye on both of these pit stops. Obviously, we've got about a 12-second gap to Fernando, so the double stack's not a problem. We're not going to cause any delays for Fernando. So Gasly is in. It's been a very good stint from the Gasman on this first stint. Very impressive. Let's see where he comes out. So he's in. Hard compound tyre. We've had a bit of extra training on tyre changing. We are pit crew this week. We're now focusing all our training on that. Pierre Gasly comes in. Gap to Hamilton. Very, very important here. And also comes out into clean air. And hopefully will stay in front of that Alpha Tauri. That's the plan. And that was the idea. Let's get him in front of that Alpha Tauri of Guan Yu Zhou and keep him behind. Fernando Alonso coming out. He's expected to come out around P14. Hopefully we can get him in some clear air. What have we got? We've got Stroll has overtaken him as well. And he comes out not in too bad a position. 1.4 behind on decent tyres. Let's have a look at the tyres now. So the Gasman in P7 along with Russell. So Perez, Hamilton and Leclerc have all got to stop again. And they might just end up coming out behind that man, Fernando Alonso. Zhou, Bottas and Norris possibly finishing coming in again. If they don't, their tyres are going to be a lot more worn towards the end of the Grand Prix. So lap 32, 7th and 13th. Let's keep an eye on things proceed from now. And lap 43, just a quick check-in. Charles Leclerc did come out behind Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly, though, did get overtaken by Charles Leclerc. We haven't got the pace of that Ferrari. We have got the pace of the Mercedes. I don't think we're miles away in terms of last lap. Sort of 120.2, 120.3. So we're in the mix with the Mercedes. Obviously, the key thing here is Lewis Hamilton, has got to pit again. And there's only sort of, what, 6-7 seconds between Hamilton and Gasly. So Hamilton's going to drop right down. Fernando Alonso has now got the DRS of Lance Stroll. Which is important. Tyre-wise, we look at Bottas and Zhou. They're going to have to pit again, I would suggest. So they're going to drop down. That escalates us up to P10. It might be another blocking job from Fernando towards the end. There's been a couple of little incidents at the front. Max Verstappen's spun, which means, really, Carlos Sainz is just having a nice drive around the Hungarian countryside this afternoon. But lap 44... plenty to play for both our cars coming into the closing stages of this Hungarian Grand Prix. Lap 48, Hamilton is in, Perez is in, Zhou's in, Bottas is in. Where is Lewis Hamilton going to filter out, and where is Fernando Alonso? Fernando Alonso's not going to get him. Lewis Hamilton now onto the medium compounded tyre, as is Perez. We've got Williams coming through. Pierre Gasly, the gap to Pierre Gasly is 14 seconds. Now, for Lewis Hamilton, safety car changes absolutely everything for these guys. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso on the back of Esteban Ocon. Norris is still yet to pick. Norris may go towards the end, in fairness to him, but the gap now, this is the gap that we're looking at. Hamilton to Gasly, 14 seconds, and he's got, what, 20 laps to make it up. I think he just might do it, which would be an absolute sickener. Depends if he gets held up behind cars like this, because that helps us all the more. Lap 49. Right, we've had a crash on circuit. There is a yellow flag. I'm not sure who it is.
Sounds like there's been a
Lance Stroll. We saw that plenty of times last season, but Lance Stroll in Sector 1. What's he done here? I'm guessing he's just locked up. He has. He's locked that front right tyre and gone into the wall. Broke a bit of his front wing. Now, is that going to bring out a safety car? Is the key question. It isn't. We're going to carry on. Safety car then would have been ideal for Pierre Gasly. He could have gone onto the medium compounded tyre, maybe even the soft, and gone from there. Fernando Alonso still having a look at the back of Esteban Ocon. We are going to get past him at some point. We are just picking his moment of which we are going to do it. And Pierre Gasly is currently running in P5. Again, still looking at the back. Well, still looking at this gap, sorry, to Lewis Hamilton. That is the key in all this. 12, nearly 13 seconds now. 18 laps to do it. He's not closing the gap by enough at this moment in time. Lap 52. Lap 54. Big moment coming up in this race for Fernando Alonso, as you can see. He's got Esteban Ocon in front of him. That Williams is a back marker that needs to get out of the way. But I'm guessing Esteban Ocon is going to get DRS. He is. We've managed to get past both. So now Fernando Alonso got the DRS. He's going to get... He's not... Esteban Ocon, he's not going to have DRS on this next straight. Although Fernando might get it done anyway. Is he going to? He has got DRS. Come on, Fernando. Can you get past him? This could be a key move in terms of the race. I don't think we've got enough to get alongside. We have. Fernando Alonso wheel to wheel with Esteban Ocon and gets past the Frenchman. No love lost in real life between these two at the end of this past season. But Fernando Alonso is past Esteban Ocon, which is important because Guan Yu Zhou were making some real headway behind. Meanwhile, in Pierre Gasly land, 11.5 seconds to Lewis Hamilton. P5 still very much on the cards for the Gasman. Lap 55. When bike markers do you a favour, lap 56. That Williams got so much in the way. Esteban Ocon dropped 2 positions. We've now got to do this with Carlos Sainz. We've let Carlos Sainz go and we have lost a bit of pace towards Guan Yu Zhou. But we are in front of him. Very importantly, Ocon's further bike. Guan Yu Zhou's got the pace on this medium compounded tyre. We know this. But something to be aware of. Maybe we can latch onto the back of Zhou, to be fair. But we need to keep out of the way of Esteban Ocon. That's what we've got to be doing in this Grand Prix. Lap 56, 11 seconds is the gap between Gasly and Hamilton. 57, very, very difficult for Fernando to defend that. Guan Yu Zhou up the inside with DRS on the quicker tyres. The 2 stops looking good for these guys at the back. It's not been the best for Fernando, but we know we sacrificed Fernando a little bit to help Pierre Gasly, which has been shown by this gap. There's no panic, there's no panic in our garage. We understand where we are. Now the key thing is to try and stay with Guan Yu Zhou. We're going to use a bit of the ERS to try and do that, and then hopefully build this gap to Ocon. That's the key now, and that should pretty much be job done if Fernando can manage to do that and stay out of the way of Esteban Ocon. Meanwhile, still 10.5 seconds for Lewis Hamilton. It is not looking good because he's spending a lot of time battling with Sergio Perez at this moment in time. Lap 57. Now this is a terrifying sight. We've still got one more lap to go after this, and probably a lap that we didn't need. We have got Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez on the back of us on faster tyres. I mean, where do we go from here? We're just going to have to say, hold back the cars behind. We will give Pierre the ERS to use on defend. This could be P8. Fernando Alonso's out of the points. He cannot seem to get to grips with these 2 in front of him. He's going to have one more lap. But the whole plan now is, can Pierre Gasly, he's got 2 DRS straights to negotiate. We're going to give him the defence. Can he do it? This is it. It's all on you, Pierre. Hold back these 2 cars. We saw Fernando do it earlier. He's defending all the way down this straight. Lewis Hamilton looking to the outside, can't quite get past him. But Pierre manages to hold the inside line. Make that Aston Martin as big as you possibly can, Pierre. Fernando Alonso, we're going to give him the battery. Deploy, overtake, do the works. Everything you possibly can, Fernando. But it's all eyes on Pierre Gasly to hold off these 2 cars. Carlos Sainz crosses the line to win comfortably here at the Hungaroring, but now it's all on Pierre Gasly. We're not going to watch that. There's only one thing we're watching, and this is Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso has sacrificed his race for this. The 2 guys behind are still battling away, but Pierre Gasly giving it absolutely everything here, trying to hold off these 2 guys. We do not want to get done down to the line again. Hamilton and Perez are still battling for P6, but Pierre Gasly, miraculously, Maverick, what a guy this guy's been this season for us. And Pierre Gasly, the tyres are slightly overheating. He's still got some ERS. We are just going to have to turn it to balanced fuel mode to ensure that we've got enough. Perez and Hamilton are side by side going into the final corner. Pierre Gasly comes around the final corner, use that ERS. He's doing exactly that, and Pierre Gasly crosses the line and finishes P5, Hamilton P6, Perez P7. Unfortunately, Fernando couldn't quite get in front of those cars, but I think you've got to say Pierre Gasly owes a lot to Fernando Alonso for that performance. Let's get to the classifieds now. And let me take a breath, because Carlos Sainz won by some distance, 15.5 seconds to Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, who, despite their engine penalties, did very well to get back up there. George Russell in a comfortable P4, anything but comfortable for Pierre Gasly in P5. Hamilton, Perez, Zhou, Bottas and Ocon making up the top 10. Fernando Alonso out of the points. Drivers' Championship-wise, that means that Pierre Gasly gets 10 points. He still remains in P5. And he's now, what, 7 points in front of Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso down in P8, not scoring any points. Max Verstappen takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship from Charles Leclerc. He's now, what is he now? He's sort of 16 points clear of Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz winning and getting the fastest lap, down in third. Very much in the title fight. Constructors-wise, Aston Martin, we lose 10 points to Mercedes in P3. Ferrari still leading from Red Bull in second and Mercedes in third. I hope you've enjoyed that. We've had a couple of exciting last few laps in the last couple of episodes. Have a fantastic new year. Enjoy that, and we'll see you next Tuesday for the next Grand Prix. See you later.